Hi, my name is Bondine and I'm a motivational speaker. My speaking concept is focused on the mind, body, and spirit. I believe that those are the basic foundations for abundant life and destiny. Have you ever heard the saying that we don't have control over our life? I kind of beg to differ a little bit. I agree a little bit, then I don't. I believe that life is kind of mapped out for us, but then I think there comes a period where there's like a fork in the road, and I call it the fork of life. And when you get to that point in life, it's like you have to make some choices. You have to use the creative gift, which is our ability to think and make choices. That's what we've been created to do. So I think, we do have life mapped out, but we do have to make decisions. Especially if we know that there's destiny in our route. We all are created for a purpose in life. And whether it be small or great, who's to say? But we're created for a purpose. On that road of life, sometimes things happen. Sometimes we have an easy road, easy life. But then there's some of us, like myself, we have on that road of life, we have flat tires, we have boulders in the road, we have nails, we have all kind of things coming at us. We call those the issues of life. But do we let that stop us? No. Because we still have that creative ability to think and to make choices to make that change in our life. How do we get to that place? When we get to that fork in life, how do we get to that place where we're making decisions for ourselves? For one thing, we have to amid all the noise. We have to get our mind. Our mind is the number one tool. We have to get to a place where we have a sound mind. Have you ever noticed that today it's like so many crazy things are going on? People are doing so many crazy things. And we look at people sometimes, whether they're a bag lady or a homeless person, and they look crazy. Some of them are more sound than we are. But what's happening, things happen. Things happen every day. And some people just check out. Some people just, they take the easy road out. Some people become bag ladies or bag men or whatever because of the abuse, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or sexual. Sometimes we just can't deal with it. And so I remember there was a time in my life, and I like to keep it, 100. There was a time in my life when I just really wanted to become a bag lady because I thought that would get me away from all the choices of life, the confusion of life. I was at a point where I was coming into myself, trying to find out what life was all about, why I was here. I just couldn't understand life itself. And I had everything. I lived a good life. It was nothing that I wanted for that I didn't get. Had an education, had the husband, had the big house, just traveling and everything. But I came to that fork, that fork in that road where I just wasn't complete. I knew it was more to life than what I had physically had. It was more. So I had to get my mind to a place of soundness. And so to get my mind to that place of soundness, and some things I did, I took control. I couldn't take control of anything else, but I took control over my mind, what I could do. And one of the things I started doing was I looked at my surroundings. A lot of times we have people that are around us that are not there for us. And so you have to weed them out. When you have a friend when you're young, doesn't mean that friend is going to follow you all the way through life. Now, if you do get that friend that does follow you all the way through life, you have a good friend. And when I say a friend that's going to be there through the good times and the bad times. And if you're wrong, they're going to let you know. But sometimes you just have people that are not friends. They're just associates, and they mean you no good. So you have to get away from those people that don't mean you any good. Another thing I did when I was going through my surroundings, I actually had to move out of the state that I was in and the city. I had to move away because the surroundings wasn't good for me. So I moved away, and it was when I moved away into another place, it was like I saw so many things much clearer. So sometimes you have to move away. And you might can't do that at this time, but what you can do, you can read a book, you can look at videos, and you can take yourself there in your mind. The mind is a very powerful thing. They used to have a saying that the mind is it's a sad thing to lose. It's a sad thing to lose your mind or waste it, and it really is. So we know that the mind is very powerful. Some say it's the powerhouse of life. So if you can't get out physically and move away, take yourself there. There are books, there are videos, there are tapes, there are CDs, there are programs that can take your mind into places that will allow you to begin to change your life and get into a sound place. You know, my brother is he's 3 years younger than I am. I think he's 57. And we went to Miami a few years ago, and we were at South Beach, and he was so excited about being at South Beach. Well, we're just, maybe 6 hours away. I'm from Florida, so we're used to the ocean life. But my brother told me, he said he hadn't been to the beach at home in about 40 some years. And I was like, that made no sense. And then you get to Miami, you're excited about the beach. He just said, I didn't want to go to the beach. After I was a teenager, I didn't want to go to the beach. And I'm like, I don't know what happened to make him not want to enjoy his environment, but he just didn't for 40 some years. But he just fell in love with South Beach in Miami. So I don't know. But we have to get out, and he was excited to be there, and I was glad to be a part of him being excited and him traveling. So we started traveling a little bit. So we're going to do some more traveling, and I just enjoy traveling, and I like to bring other people into my world. So another thing I did when I got in control of my mind and becoming sound in my mind, like I said, I changed my surrounding, the people that around me that are not good for me. I was beginning to see everybody's not there. I realized that everybody's not there patting me on the shoulder saying, yeah, I want you to make it. I understand that, and that's okay. I changed the environment, and you know what? Even I changed my job. Sometimes we're in jobs, we're just there and we're not happy. So I changed my job, and I was a nurse. I went to college for 4.5 years trying to get a master's degree, but I stopped the master's degree because I was tired of being an educated person. So I went and started nursing with my bachelor's. And once I decided to change my life and to start getting my mind sound, I started making some changes. And the changes that you make now, people are not going to consider them to be wise. They're going to think you crazy, but that's your choice. And they would say stuff to me like, if I was you, I would do it this way. But you're not me. I'm me. So I'm doing it my way. So I even changed my job from being a nurse, making a little money that I did make, and I got my CDL license, and I became a bus driver. Yes, on a yellow little bus. I was driving the short bus, the long bus. But I was happy. There was a peace. There was no confusion. I began to do what I wanted to do. And I did that for a while. Of course, you can only do that for about a year, and then you got to go back to your main job because that's where you're really getting the bread and butter. But until you get to that place where you're getting all the confusion from around you, you have to do what you have to do. Another thing I did meditation. I did yoga. I took walks along the beach, and like I said, I traveled. I kept a journal, and what the journal did for me, it was a cathartic method. What it allowed me to do was, at the end of the day, when I was going through something, I would write about things I went through, and instead of keeping that stuff in my mind and overloading this powerhouse, I would write it down. And so writing that stuff down, you get it out. And then about 3 months later, I would review what I wrote and see had I accomplished, or was I still in that place? See, was I making any progress? So a journal can be really productive for you. So let's go over that. So when you start seeking for a sound mind and getting all the confusion out the way, and you're at that fork of life, and you start making decisions, you have to get in control of your thinking. It doesn't matter what they have said. You may be like you're like your daddy, or you're like your Aunt Sally. She's flighty, or she's just all over the place. She's a hippie, or she's just loose, or whatever. You are not Aunt Sally. You are you. It doesn't matter what your family members say. You're not like your father. each and every one of us, whether we are a twin or whether we come in triplet forms or whatever, we have a different DNA. We're totally different. We may look alike, but we're totally different. So don't let anyone keep you in a bubble by saying you are just like that person or they would do it this way, because remember, God gave us a creative ability to think. And at some point, we have to be responsible for what the choices we make in life. Now, are all the choices going to be great choices? No, they're not going to be great choices. And, it doesn't matter if you don't want to go to the college that your parents wanted you to go to. It doesn't matter if they had your life all planned out. At some point, you have to be responsible for the choices you make in life. I just like to keep it real. I like to motivate others through my experience. And I just want to go briefly, over my life. I was married for 25 years. I got married right out of high school. And by the age of 18, I had a husband and a child. And I felt like, it was very good. We were very much in love, as we always are when we're young. But because we married so young, over a 25-year span, we kind of outgrew. The kids began to grow up and leave the nest. And we kind of outgrew each other. And we had no one there to tell us how to keep this marriage of 25 years. No one was telling us that, even in the church, nobody was telling us. We were just being pulled apart, but we didn't know how to keep it together. So we eventually, we did divorce, and it's been about maybe 20 years that we have been divorced. And we are best of friends now. So, you go through things in life, but when you go through those things, you have to go through. You just have to go through. And a lot of times, people don't know what to say, so you have to find your way. And when I was going through, if I never went through what I went through, I wouldn't have known what being single was. I wouldn't have known about how, about this, the baby mama drama and all that. I wouldn't have known. I've been through unnecessary stuff, but I went through because I can tell somebody else what I went through. And maybe if I can shorten the battle that you're going through, then I'm glad that I went through it, because it doesn't have to be drama. We have to realize in situations like that, in all situations, there's a peaceful side to it. I mean, I can fight, but I don't have to fight, dirty, but I know how to fight. I've learned that over time. But we just need to know that, especially in situations where you have children, that you have kids involved. And there's no need to fight against the mom or the father. You just got to find a medium point, and y'all have to learn how to get along. Okay, and we're going to talk about relationships later on in some of the videos, and just tell you how to make a better relationship. It's not all about the drama. It's not all about the fighting, but it's just like, can we just all get along? That's what it's all about. And if we can't, we just have to go our separate ways. On that road of life, it's controlled to a certain point, but at some point you're going to come to that fork in the road, the fork of life, and you're going to have to use your thinking, your critical thinking, and you're going to have to find a way to make choices for your life, and you're going to have to push through it, and it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you have to fight for you, and you got to keep going. So we did the getting control of your thinking, changing the surroundings, the people you are hanging with that don't mean you any good, the environment. You may have to move to another state or another city or around the corner or whatever. You can even change around your bedroom. That's your environment. You sometimes, instead of you having your bedroom in the back, you might have to bring it closer to the window. So when you wake up in the morning, the sunshine comes out right in your face, and it gives you a glorious day. So just little things like that. Changing your job, and meditating, prayer, yoga, walks at the beach if you're close to the ocean, or in the park, travel, and journaling. Those are the first things you do to get control of your mind. For more information and life tips, please subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on Facebook. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great one. I see you next time. Bye.